Hey, good morning, Simone. I missed the hook to the song because I was filling up my water bottle. But I'm ready now. Hey, welcome in. Welcome. I don't even have my captions up. What's going on? Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness. Listen, this is ridiculous. I was not planning on doing a video. I'm experimenting. On TikTok, this girl swore by this Indian powder, and so I made a mask out of it, and it is on my face. I'll probably wash it off during one of the breaks, but we need to hurry up because the woman who put up the post that was taken down, it was listen, oh my goodness, I can't move my face. She just put up an update. So I said, let me hurry up and do this update. Somebody's like, Tonya, do you have on a mask? Don't make me laugh. Please, don't make me laugh. Oh, don't make me laugh. Don't do me like this. Oh, no, don't do me like this. Saint Marquise, don't do me like this. Oh my Lord, listen. We need to hurry. Let's go. You all talking about what's not important. Leave my face alone. Leave it alone. Just concentrate on the words. It smells very earthy. It smells like tea. Honestly, it smells like tea. Okay, look, when I am coming out glowing and everything, because this is supposedly something that is going to get rid of all dark circles, they said crush up this thing and make it into a powder, then a paste, and put it on your face. Leave me alone. We need to get to the thing. Oh, we need to go live on all platforms. Leave my face alone. Don't make me laugh. Leave me alone. Okay. Let's go ahead and get live on. Stop it. Leave me alone. Somebody is like, what is going on? We going forward. That's what we doing. Come on. Let's get live on every platform. We are live on, what's this? We're live on Twitch. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Facebook. We're live on LinkedIn. And of course, we are live on, oh my gosh, on YouTube, which is the main platform. So right now, we're getting ready to do an update. I have a mask on. It's an Indian powder. You have to crush it up from this like little nut, turn it into a paste. I saw it on TikTok. I said I'm gonna give it a try. Why not? So I had the mask on my face and I was just sitting. I said, oh, let me come to my computer Then I saw the woman who did the thing yesterday with her husband who smashed the cake in her face. She did an update because remember her post was taken down for some reason. And so she did an update. I didn't even read the update. Oh God, people are laughing. Do not make me laugh. Do not make me laugh, please. Mary wants to try it. I ain't even got the results yet, Mary. Let me try it first and see if I'm gonna get the results. And then I will tell the people behind the scenes about it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But leave me alone in my face. Let's just talk about the post. Let's talk about the post. That's why we're here. Just concentrate on the words that I'm about to read. Don't even look at me. Don't even look at me. All right. So she put this post up a few hours ago, and so it hasn't been taken down yet. And so nobody else has reported on this because I don't think people know. Because what I was going to do was I was going to write to her, right? I was going to write to her, and this is ridiculous. I can't see nothing. Oh gosh, I can't see this. Hold on. We're going to fix this because like I said, I haven't read this yet. So I need to figure out a way to, how do you save? I need to save the post. Let me Ross. I don't know how to see the thing this all. How do I save this? I need to save the post so I can pull it up on my phone. Close. Oh, here it is. Save. All right, perfect. Perfect. So Ayan is saying, I miss the rose gold blonde look, your hair. Well, if you like that look, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. You should do that. You should do that. Cause I like that copperish, not copper. I like that platinum look that I had gotten a few months ago, but I haven't been able to get it. I made a mistake and it came out that color. I haven't been able to make that same mistake twice. So that's that. What else can I do? What can I do? You know, when it comes to bleach, it's hit or miss. Not hit or miss, but it's like you never get the same results. So look, so we got this up over here. All right, so let's take a read. Let's take a gyanda. All right. Okay. Go ahead and clock in. We'll be here. My husband smashed cake into my face on our wedding day and I left him. So my last post got taken down and I've gotten a lot of messages because I was going to message her. That's how I found out about this myself because I was like, let me message her. And then I said, oh my gosh, when I clicked on her profile, she had a new post up. So I said, okay, cool. So I just wanted to update you all about a few things. I haven't gotten my stuff from my ex yet. I just haven't had the energy to because I'm still extremely upset. Obviously, from the videos online to the comments I received on my original post. Oh, so she saw our video. Okay. From the videos online to the comments I received on my original post to also the comments I looked at on reposts of my post. It kind of made me think that there's probably a lot of red flags. This is what we were talking about yesterday. So she definitely saw our video. And I was just used to being abused. So the bare minimum was enough for me. Oh my gosh. We said this yesterday. So listen, girl, we got your back. I know you saw my video. You don't have to give me a shout out. I understand because it's not about me. It's about you. And it's not about my face. Let's continue going forward. I know I don't look right. I know I don't, but let's continue. I know. I'm going to wash this off during the break, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to be glowing. Watch. I'm going to be glowing. Oh, we don't have the timer up for the break. Here we go. 21 minutes on the clock. Okay. All right. After speaking about it with my friend, she said that he definitely had a lot of red flags, and she even told me I should stay far away from dating until I get some help because I was obviously not seeing the red flags right in front of me. I'm not going to go into it, but sometimes I'd have to cook second dinners for my ex-husband because he didn't like everything I made. See, now, she about to make me crack my mask, but we're going to go forward. His mom apparently didn't get him used to vegetables, so he won't eat them. You know he stinks. Or making fun of my cramps or my period. That's some of what I was referring to when I said immature. Someone texted me saying if I was sure that he cheated on me. No, I'm not sure. At the moment, I just felt like it made sense because of how horrible he was being, though they made a good point. The sister very much well could have just been trying to kick me when I was down since I was leaving anyway. I have no evidence and I probably will never have evidence. I unblocked him to just tell him I was going to come over in a few days to get my stuff, and if he could just not be there and that I'd leave my key. He said fine, and that was it. Listen, take somebody with you, go with the police, okay? Especially since I know you're watching my video. Go with the police when you go to pick up your things. The most dangerous time for a woman is when she decides to leave a man. I need you all to help me out because remember I said I'm going to be doing a lot more teaching on my channel, and there's some things that I need to research and learn in order for me to teach. And one of the things that I need to research is why men get into this spirit of possessiveness where they act as if nothing else in life matters besides owning their woman. So much so that he will destroy his life and any chance of his future just to destroy her. So the most dangerous time for a woman leaving an abusive man is when she says that, well, when she's pregnant and when she's leaving. So you never tell them that you're leaving, you just have to go. And when you come to pick up your stuff, you have to come with the police because they will risk it all just to make sure that you're not happy without them. So I need to figure out how to do this research because many a men have talked about unaliving themselves when their woman and family left, unaliving her, then himself. And listen, and I have even been in relationship with a man who opened up and said that that was one of his thoughts and impulses. And this is a really Zen dude. And so when he said that, I was asking him and I was like, what is it about her leaving you that made you feel as if you had nothing else to live for? And he was just saying that there was just something genetically programmed into him that was his initial impulse. And so I personally need to do some research. I need to figure out. So if anybody has some resources on where I can start, what mode, is this sociology? Is this psychology? Is this neuropsychology? I need to understand which mode of what's the word? Which branch of learning do I need to look into to understand this impulse? Because I really want to understand that. I want to understand what is it genetically about males that makes them do this. So let's continue forward with her thing, right? I understand it may be scarcity mindset. I got to fix my face. Okay. All right. Let's continue. I understand it may be scarcity mindset, but I need to understand genetically and also what are the greater implications so that we can educate on how to protect women from this, as well as any men who may be interested in doing the internal work so that they can start doing that stuff to change this on the inside. Nonetheless, let's go forward. So he will not be there when I get the rest of my belongings. I will also bring a friend with me in case he does do something. There was a report recently about a girl who brought her sister to help her with her abusive man. He unalived her and her sister. Bring the police. You need armed backup because armed backup is sometimes the only thing that'll keep these men in line. So call the police, tell the police that you need an escort to your prior residence to pick up your stuff, and they will escort you. They do it all the time. Most of them are sitting around doing nothing. And the other ones of them are not wanting to do anything. So give them something to do. I'm still not speaking to my family, and I think I'm just going to go no contact like people suggested. I saw a video from a woman speaking about me, and someone in the comments said I was groomed into this treatment, which is why he felt it was okay to do this. Maybe she's right. So thank you all for posting your comments. I'm glad that the comments from all platforms are able to be seen on the screen so that she is able to get the help that she needs and suggestions from people who have been through this before. So I'll put up some more of your comments on the screen so that she can see them. Let's continue. When I get my financials in order, I think I'll try therapy and wait a few years before attempting to date anyone. All you need for therapy is insurance. Go to the marketplace, type in Obamacare, go to the marketplace for your city and state. If you do not have money, get Medicaid, or is it Medicare, one of those. And from there, you can get therapy because Medicare, Medicaid covers for you to have therapy. Not only that, if you talk to your primary care physician and let your primary care physician know that you're feeling anxious, depressed, or whatnot, they can connect you to other resources that offer group therapy, that offer, what are these things called? It's like a collective. It's an office full of therapists, and it's a little bit different than going to a one-on-one office. There's telehealth visits. There's all different types of things that you can take advantage of right now. Okay? Rogers is saying that unblocking him and communicating with him is giving him an avenue to come back. Well, you know, breaking up is difficult. People sometimes go back and forth, you know. I mean, this is her life and she has to orchestrate it how she sees fit. Me personally, how I handle things like that is I change my phone number. I I don't play those types of games. And actually, since I told you all that recently there was a woman who put me in non-consensual contact with an abusive male, and I am actually considering changing my phone number again because I do not want this person coming back around in the future thinking that she can have access to me. So I'm actually considering that as well. So okay. I also kept getting this question. How did the Uber come so quick? The wedding venue was in a city. Why are people asking about the damn Uber? The wedding venue was in a city in a building. Uber took 30 seconds to order and 3 minutes to get there. Plus, who was really going to stop me from getting into the car? My husband gave up, to be honest, pretty fast once he saw me trying to get into the car. I thought it was weird, but I realize now playing victim. I realize now playing victim because he didn't get his way. Some of you may be saying, how did you not realize you were being abused? I don't know. Sometimes it just happens that way. My brain is kind of dead at this point. Again, thank you to literally everyone for the sweet comments and even people messaging me privately. I haven't responded to them all, but I will try to since you took the time out of your day to see if I was okay. I really appreciate that. To people who say this is fake, I don't care. I went on this app because I figured I'd get like a few comments and maybe some insight. I got that insight way more than I thought I'd get in a million years. Now I'm going to move forward with my life. So this is the last update. I'm going to respond to the PMs and then forget about this account and hopefully my old life. It's genuinely too depressing for me to think about. Edit. I'm okay though. I feel lonely and depressed, but I have my friends supporting me. So I'm not that alone. I'll be okay and get myself out of this hole. I realize this post is a bit too doom and gloom. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. So we'll read some of the comments that have come up, and then I'm going to open up. We're going to take a break. And then when we take the break, I'm going to wash this mask off so I don't have to look like this the whole broadcast. And then I'm going to open up the phone lines. So get ready for that, because I think that it'll be important for her to hear your phone calls. If there's anybody who has anything to add, any insight. And I'm also going to write to her and tell her to contact me because maybe there's a way we can get her on the phone so that we can be of support to her so that she can tell any more than she did before. Okay, so let's go forward. I'm sorry, my throat. I don't, this is my first time speaking for the morning, so I have to continue clearing my throat. Give me a moment. Is she going back? We don't know. It's difficult to give up on people, especially if they start talking that talk about how they're going to change and they change their ways and they're going to go to therapy and all this stuff. Remember, she loved him enough to marry him, and she has no evidence of the cheating. So who knows what she's going to do? That's her decision to make. I'm not going to judge, because I was caught in a back and forth relationship myself once. So I know how it can be because what happens is you build up these habits and patterns that this person is a part of, and your life really, so you're in a state of mourning. And if you're mourning a person who is still alive, or mourning a relationship with a person who is still alive, it's all too tempting to try to go back and try to make it work. So I can't judge, because I have been there. That is part of what has me be very careful about getting into relationship, because if I see red flags starting out, I know how difficult it is to get out of the relationship. So I can't judge anybody else. When you have been abused and or neglected by your own family, then yes, you basically build a blindness to it. I really wish you the best. I have PTSD from my mother and father, yet few people have said that she was a wonderful, yet few people have said that she was a wonderful mother. I haven't realized till now that she was emotionally abusive. I thought it was normal. Orphan says, my mom was abusive too, but she put a very sweet and put upon act in front of others. I tell my friends what she was like, and they didn't believe me until the glorious day my mom walked into our house and thought my friend that I had over was me. She and I had the same haircut, and my mom just saw her from behind. My mom started screaming, calling me a bitch and whatnot. She was mortified when my friend turned around. Didn't change her behavior, but my friends absolutely believed me after that. By the way, we were 11. You know what? I'm going to say this because this happened to me recently. I didn't think that it was important for me to study narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, and narcissistic people, because the way in which I live my life privately repels narcissists. So I thought I didn't have to worry about that. But work-wise, right? I realized at in the job that I do that I will come into contact with people whom I wouldn't necessarily choose. And I actually recently came into contact with a male, and this male exhibited characteristics. So after I had this issue with this male, I started getting videos fed to me from Dr. Ramini. I'm not really sure how she pronounces her name. And the things that she was describing in this video and this man's behavior, his behavior seemed very similar to what it is that she was describing for narcissistic personality disorder, right? However, the caveat of it is that other people, and even I was fooled by his corny, defenseless, what doofy persona. He has a doofy, harmless persona. But this person is very dangerous. And not only that, this person is so convincing in their doofiness and armlessness, right? That other people who know about NPD and they themselves have been studying and watching it for years felt that I was the narcissistic one in this exchange. Listen. So these people are very convincing with their defenselessness. Oh, poor me. So much so that people are confused between who is the real victim. So dear Miss, what's her name? Miss Mindless Charge, please understand that you're not going crazy, that these people are master manipulators and they fool even the best of them. All of these people online, you know how people come up, and my face is so tired that I can't even, it's very difficult for me to it's my voice, it's just, I'm so tired. So I just want to speak regularly for a moment, right? Because I can't, it's too difficult to try to move through this mask. So listen, these people are so convincing in how they behave that even people online who have made it their business to understand NPD, that even they are fooled when they come face to face with true narcissistic tendencies. Even the people who feel that they know all about it, that they were confused in the exchanges I had with this person, and were abusing me at his behest. And apparently, according to Dr. Ramani, when you confront a narcissist, they have this wounding and they will try to hurt you at all costs, especially if their ego is wounded. And they will elicit the help of other people to attack this person. And these people are attacking me, calling me the narcissist in this exchange. Now, let me ask you all this. Have I ever, in my 15 years online, ever asked you all to ever go attack anyone? When I discuss people, do I even say their names so that you'll know who it is, so that you can go and attack them on your own? I do not. I don't do it. And I even have a video that I will send to you all that or that says, if you ever see someone talking bad about me, just don't click on it. You don't see me playing the victim and doing all this other stuff that narcissists do, but yet people will still be confused. They'll still be confused about who the true narcissist is. So don't bank on regular people who have no training knowing who the narcissist is or knowing who the abusive person is. Don't bank on it. Like this girl whose mother calling her all types of B's when she was 11, and it just so happened that her friend saw it. If her friend had not seen it, you see how her friends didn't believe her. My dear, mindless, people won't believe you. People will gaslight you. People will tell you to go back. People will make you doubt whether or not it is what it was. You expressed a boundary to him, right? You told him that you did not want cake in your face on your wedding day. He still did it anyway. And not only that, he wanted to make sure that your biggest abuser was there to be able to witness it. You didn't want to invite your mother to the wedding, but he wanted to show your family what you're in store for. Imagine what Thanksgiving and family gatherings are going to be like in this marriage. Narcissists cannot change their personalities. They can only go to therapy to figure out how to manipulate better. as you see, what's happening now is these men, it is the style du jour for these men to go to therapy and then use therapy speak to pretend as if they're making changes, but it's the same S, different day. So no, you are not imagining it. It is not your imagination. Nobody else has to agree with you. Nobody else has to see things the way that you do. Is there a chance for this man to change? I don't know whether or not he is a narcissist. Let him go to therapy and create real change. Let him humble himself and do the work, not to get back with you, because there was a guy, we got 3 seconds before our break. All right. Okay, let us go to a break. We're going to read some of the comments and then I'm going to open up the phone line. I'm going to go wash off this mask and see what this has done for my face, right? Let me see what this has done, and then we shall see. We'll be back. Listen, this is a movement break. So this is the time for you to get up and move. There's going to be some QR codes on the screen. Those, oh goodness, that's loud. These QR codes, listen, he will make her pay for publicly embarrassing her, embarrassing him. Yes, exactly. He will make you pay. Exactly. So this is the time to get up. I'm going to run to the bathroom, and while I'm washing this off my face, I'm going to see if I can do some kickbacks with my legs. But this is the time to get up and do some body movement, because we have been sitting down for 45 minutes. So get up out of your seat, and then you can hold yourself accountable by sending $1 through the Cash App and letting me know what physical activity you participated in, and I will read it on air. So we'll be back in 3 and 3. Oh my goodness. I gotta put the music. Sorry, I just get back. I was just doing some sumo leg lifts because it was too difficult to do kickbacks while I was washing my face. Okay, so here is my face. I mean, I mean, it feels nice. The face feels nice. The face feels nice. I need more time to see. So I'm just going to use my vitamin E, which should be available this winter, and just kind of moisten up my face afterwards. Oh my goodness. Oh, all right. So how was the break for you all? What did you all get? Ooh, that's loud. What did you all get into? All right. Okay. Let me just let this soak in. Oh. Okay, so if you all are ready, okay. Well, I mean, okay, so let's go ahead and read the Cash Apps that have come in. Whew. All right. So Leandra sends $5. Thank you, Leandra. We appreciate that. Katrina says $1 and says, great live, Tonya. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So nobody has told me what exercises they have done. Are you all getting up during these breaks? There's 400 people on the YouTube and 61 people on Facebook. And out of 400 people, nobody is telling me what exercise they've done. I know it's early, but come on. All right, so let's go forward. Let's go forward. Let's finish reading some of these comments, and then we shall go from there. All right. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so this person was talking about her mother and the PTSD. I want to read another comment thread. Yes, it reminds me of the boiling frog scenario. You get so used to being treated that way that you don't see how crappy it is. Best of luck to the OP. I know it may seem dim at this point, but OOP will be in a better situation away from ex-fiancé. Let's see. It becomes, okay, that's what I came here to say. Anyone who implies OP should have seen the abuse for what it was has clearly never been in that situation and should F all the way off. Oh my. Oh my. Uh-oh. I don't know how that took me to the top of the page, but you're going to be great. Your life is going to be 1,000 times better without this man in it. Anyone who blames you for not seeing red flags and abuse early doesn't understand how abusive relationships works and needs to shut their GD mouth. I'm glad you are seeing them now. That's the important part. You're really brave for walking away, and I'm proud of you. It sounds like you have a good plan for the future, and I wish you the best. Hope the annulment goes smoothly and you can get on with your life. Best of luck. Do not go alone to pick up your things. Thank you. This is exactly what I was saying. This is exactly what I was saying. He will almost certainly be there waiting for you. Bring friends, a family, or you can ask the police to meet you there. Good luck. And go find happiness. Yes, absolutely. Can we also just take a minute to consider how absolutely mindlessly stupid it is for the moderators to remove the original post? Thanks, bloody hell. Yeah. The people in the text notification squad were talking about this behind the scenes yesterday. Like, why did they remove it? This post has been so important for so many women to find their voice. So, OP, I suggest that you do not just rescind and change, your whole handle and all of that. I suggest you really take this time to really kind of soar into your new you. Go to therapy, get the help that you need, rebuild yourself, and you're going to find the right love for you. And if you go back and forth, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge. Oh, P, this is great. You stood up for yourself. I have told many people in my life, if my partner ever smashes cake in my face at our wedding, I will announce I'm getting the wedding annulled to the entire party and leave. I'm glad to see that you are seeing the red flags and working on yourself. Best of luck, and know that while the storm roars, there's a rainbow that shows up to brighten the skies. I'm so sorry you've gone through this when you're raised in that kind of environment. Oh, there must have been new comments that have come up. Okay. For anyone asking, you couldn't recognize the abuse. All you've known is familiar to you. When you take a look at your partner, familiarity, comfort. Hey, I'm glad you updated. I'm glad that you're not sticking with the immature child groom. Honestly, OP, I'm so effing proud of you for walking away. OP, may I suggest a jaunt? Raised by narcissists. So there's a thread. Raised by narcissists. Remember, we were just talking about NPD, and listen, none of us can diagnose who is narcissistic or who isn't, but we know something is not right. We can say that there are behaviors that seem very similar to what psychologists describe as being factors in narcissistic personality disorder, but we can't diagnose anyone. People saying she clearly knew what was going on before getting married, but did it anyway, are entirely very young and haven't lived much. Take care of yourself. Weirdly, you were lucky. So much better to have found out now. Wishing you all the best for the future. Great. So everybody is supporting her. Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the phone lines, and we're just going to have a brief little conversation about this. There's a few more apples that have come in, so we're going to read those in a moment. Is James talking about some ankle rotations? All right. Well, look, anything is better than nothing. So if you did your ankle rotations, I'm here for it. I'm glad. And thank you for holding yourself accountable and putting your money where your mouth is. So yes, I mean, hey, ankle rotations is better than nothing. Even if you do shoulder shrugs, anything, as long as you set the intention of being in movement, something is better than nothing. All right, so let us go ahead and get these phone lines open. The number is on the screen right here, 323-488-3149. I've been drinking a lot of water lately. I've been using my vitamin E. And so, yes, my skin is looking very, very nice. I'm so glad. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, wow. On PayPal, they have my name, my business name, Knockout Enterprises LLC at Tonya TKO. So, yes, the person, Kasha, who wrote to me, yes, that is correct. That is correct. Okay, the people are, look, phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. We're having a conversation about the cake smashing woman. My head does not hurt, but I feel, I don't know, I have a feeling on the inside. I have a feeling. I don't know what it is, but I feel, I'm trying to figure out if I didn't get enough sleep, if I'm hungry or something. I feel my belly just dropped. So I don't know what it is. My stomach just dropped. Um, okay. I don't know if it's a result of having that on my face, but I feel a little nauseated, and I have like the smell of the mask in my nostrils. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. All right, phone is ringing. Let me grab this real quick. You're on the air. Oh, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey Tonya, it's James. I'm from
Oh,
Dallas.
hold on. I don't have the sound in my thing. Let me. My ear thing is different on different sides of my head. This is so weird. All right. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. What's your name and where you calling from?
James, and I'm from Dallas.
Oh, James with the ankle rotations.
And calf raises.
I haven't seen the full thing yet. I only saw ankle rotations. Okay. I
Oh,
said it's
okay.
something better than nothing, right?
Yes, it is. And calves are like pump, or like your or like I would say symbolically like the heart of your lower body. It pumps. It's your pump. But
Oh, okay. Okay. So go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have two statements.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna say I'm happy that you're doing this. I saw another lady. I think her name is Jules. She always talks about like relationship standards and things.
Mhm.
And then like literally the next day you ended up doing the post about the cake smashing and the abuse. I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. So two
Mm.
things. I'm gonna say a lot of men. I'm gonna say men. We a lot of areas we are undisciplined because of the society has trained us um to make us think that we are like the shit, so to speak. The man is the one, like the chosen one, and all these things. So I'm gonna say to a small degree, I'm gonna say please don't blame men because a lot of times they're not seeing because they're so indoctrinated. Well, I don't want to say don't blame them. I'm say please don't take it personal because it's
Oh.
affecting you. And then the second thing is like my mama. She gave an example. She was talking to this guy, and my mother. This is gonna be a trigger warning. My mother was abusive, and I'll try to be selective. Was abused, and my father took her to a isolated area in the woods and tried to, unalive her. So, my and so that was I'm 31, so that was like 31 years ago. So she meets a guy. She expresses the story to him, and so she's, they go out of town fairly often, and so she said they went out of town and they're coming back in, and it's at night. And my daddy took her to the woods while the sun was setting. So he says his song came on. He pulls the truck over in the middle of the like on the highway and like it's dark. And he jumps out of the car and starts dancing. And so he runs to her side of the car and tries to get her out of the car. I guess he's trying to do like some 80s movie like Happy Highway Dance or something. I don't know. But my mama, she's in. I heard about the story. We were at a. I was cooking and I heard about the story, and my sister was like, "I don't think he should hear this." I'm very emotional. Like I'll cry at the drop of a hat. But especially for my mama, like my mama, my hero. Um, but she panics, and so he tries to pull her out of the car, and she's resisting, and so he pulls her out of the car. And my mother shuts down. She literally just takes off running. She's screaming. She's running in circles. And this is what he's telling. And he was like, man, yo mama, he was like, I'm surprised she got hair left. Oh, da, da, da. So, like, I heard the story because I was cooking, but I was laughing, but when I actually heard about, I was like, he said, I'm surprised she got hair left. And I'm like, hold on, this is serious. So I'm listening to the story, and so he's like, she was just running in circles. And so then my sister was just sitting back shaking her head. So I'm like, if you see her panicking, why didn't you just say, hey, baby, I'm sorry. That was not my intention. He was like, man, she was just panicking. And I was like, girl, I ain't trying to do nothing to you. I ain't never did nothing to you. Da 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 da. And so she like he finally gets her in the truck and takes her home. The whole time she's on the phone with my mama, my grandmother, and my sister. And so this is so I hear about the story 2 weeks later because my sister didn't want me to know about the story. But while he's telling the story, she's like, I thought that I was going to die. She's like, in the original situation, I had gave up or whatever. He's still sitting, I wasn't meaning nothing by it. And I was like, dude, there's nothing you can say right now. Just say, I am sorry. That was not my intention. I fucked up. Say something. Just say, I messed up. He did not accept that. He just kept trying to defend his ego. And I was like, well, I'm going to just leave it right there because you clearly don't want to accept it. And so she says, I feel, she was like, well, the reason I talk to him is because he is a man that will come back and say, like, come back later and apologizes. Literally, she had to block, delete everything from him, his information, because he invited her and her best friend over. I don't know what the fuck they was doing, but he invited them over. And he lied and said that he had to go get some ice. He went to go pick up his son and drop him off at school and left her and her best friend in the house with a man that they don't know. So they went in the car and sat in the car and waited for him to come back. He something happened. I don't know. I'm mainly him. Him not listening and watching watching body language. He tries to pull her out of the car again. Because he was like, why y'all sit in the car? Da 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 da. He ain't gonna do nothing to y'all or whatever. And he tries to pull her out of the car again. And my mama, she's been working out. I'm happy to help her with that. She's been working out. So when he tried to handle her, he felt her strength. And he was like, oh, you serious? And so she was like, yes, I told you to leave me alone. And I said all that to say is, yes, I do. I greatly believe that a lot of men really do don't like women because they believe women have an easier time. I do believe men don't like women because of that, or feel a level or some type of way towards women because of that. But I'm through a lack of not having to watch a specific level of body language or something. I really do believe that it's like so many things are out of view. They literally can't process it until it becomes in an extreme. It's like, oh, the simple, oh, that doesn't work for me, or that would be a violation of my boundaries. Like a lot of men literally can't conceptualize, like just saying, oh, that I don't like that. That would be offensive to me. A lot of men really can't, like legit, they cannot process that. And I'm even like me, like dating and flirting with other gay men. They get mad if you ask them like specific questions. When was the last time you got an STD test? Like, but I just said, I don't feel a lot of people, men they can't, it's not calculating and registering in their process. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take up so much time.
Okay, so there are a few different things that are confusing me. So I allowed you to speak because I was confused and I was hoping that as you talk that some of the clarity would come. So number
Okay.
one, what made you? So was your father trying to unalive her in the woods, or was he trying to dance in the road?
No, so years ago, my father was abusive, and he tried to unalive my mama in the woods. So years later, she's dating this guy, the same guy who tried to pull out the car twice. She's dating
Oh,
this guy. She tells him the story. She's thinking that there's an understanding, like, don't put me in these situations. And
oh,
he's
okay.
like, well, and he just, well, this is how I feel or whatnot. And it just brushes right past his, I just, what Priscilla said, the orbital frontal cortex or whatever she said.
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally could not see it. And I'm not saying like excuse them or anything, but it's like a lot of, that's why I said don't take it personal. Like obviously, like operate how you're going to operate or whatever. But a lot of men, we're specifically speaking on men, a lot of men really can't. It doesn't register like the emotional.
So you're talking about what Priscilla was talking about with alexithymia, where we were
Yes.
talking about that the other day. Let me put that up on the screen. I haven't researched this yet, but I still have it up on my screen. So alexithymia is not a condition in its own right, but rather an inability to identify and describe emotions. People with alexithymia have difficulties recognizing and communicating their own emotions, and they also struggle to recognize and respond to emotions in others. Let me see what percentage of the population may have alexithymia. Let's see. All right. What I told you all I've been wanting. What percentage of population? Let's see. It says studies using measures of alexithymia assessing blah blah blah, less than 10% of the population. So
Bullshit.
we're talking about less than 10%. So there may need to be a much larger conversation. Some of this stuff for the people who have been diagnosed with alexithymia. And so from what Priscilla was saying, not why are you calling her Priscilla? The woman's name is Princella.
That's what I meant.
You
Speaking
got
too
even got
fast.
me
I'm
calling.
trying
And
to
I'm
break
like,
that habit.
I knew it didn't feel right, but I was like, no. So anyway, so Princella was talking about how of the people who have alexithymia, the majority of those people are male. And so if 10% of the population has alexithymia, we're still talking or may have it. We're still talking about a small percentage of the population. There could be some other things that are going on. And so this is part of the reason that I want to do my own research so that I can come to my own interpretation of the research. And so I'm just at the beginning stages of researching a lot of these things. So there could be some other things that are going on with men societally so that it's not necessarily something that's happening genetically. And so for I would suggest for you and anybody out there, because human beings, we have a condition in which we believe what it is that we've heard once it's sat there on our being for long enough. Advertisers know that if you say something 7 times, a person will believe it. This is why Trump used to say the same thing over and over and over again, no matter how big the lie, because human beings are programmable in that way. I am a
I have a.
certified clinical hypnotherapist, right? And
Mhm.
so if you even yourself you can, this is why I have the book of affirmation self-love, because if you tell yourself the same thing enough, if you write the affirmation enough, especially as you're going to bed, you're more apt to believe it. So please,
Yeah.
before you repeat anything, research it for yourself. And if you are going to repeat it, be very aware that you could be repeating something that you're repeating something that you have not personally looked into. So,
I have a. Can I ask a question?
of course you can ask a question.
Okay. It's like a scenario. The way, or it's, well, hold on. I think I worded that wrong. It's a question slash statement.
Well, then hold on. Can you do
Um.
this? Is there any way can you write that down real quick because I want to finish
Yes.
asking my questions before we
Yes.
veer off topic. So you're
Yes,
saying
ma'am.
that your father tried to unalive your mother in the woods, and then she met a new man, and so when he pulled her over on the side of the road and he wanted to dance, she was afraid because of what it is that she had gone through. So these are two different men because you called them both your
Yes.
father. So I guess you, because he came, so when you were young you call this person your father. So nonetheless,
If I called him, I didn't
huh?
mean to call him my father. I didn't mean to.
Oh, okay, because you called him that. So that's why I was a little confused about that. So two, it's problematic for him to continue to put his hands on her in a way that she is not comfortable with. And so
Hmm.
that is problematic. The young lady who wrote this post, she was like, she didn't realize that she was being abused. And part of the reason that people do not, like, there are women out there who have been capital R worded and they don't realize that they were capital R worded because of the way we see it on TV, where it's a stranger jumping on you. But no, when you say no and that person continues to press and press and press until you relent, that is assault. That is assault, and it's called coercion. That's what it's called. If you feel that you're not going to get a ride home, that you're going to get hurt, that something's going to happen to you if you don't do this thing, you have not consented. So then you were capital R worded. So there are a lot of women out there who do not know what a thing is because they are so conditioned to this is just how dating is. They were indoctrinated into this is just the way that men behave. So him putting his hand, even though your biological father was the one who was abusive, your stepfather continuing to try to grab and drag her out of places that she wants to be in, that is also abuse.
Hmm. I agree. But that's the reason they didn't want me to know about it because I'm the child. Well, I'm the functioning male. To have a brother, he's mentally delayed, so he doesn't have quote unquote certain responsibilities. I'm the child, the male child that'll say something. That's the reason they didn't want me to know about the
Got you, got you.
story.
So what was the question that you were going to ask? And then I need to put my timer on so that we can stay on top of the time for the phone calls because, the conversation be so good that sometimes so ask your question and then we're going to jump off.
Okay, so with the alexithymia, the way that I was translating, it's a question slash statement. The way that I was translating it was, it's like the more that you become aware of your situation. I heard a statement years ago, like you become the way to deal with other people's demons is to be able to deal with your own. So with the alexithymia thing, I was like translating that. It's like if I'm aware of, so it's the term alexithymia, I'm using that fairly loosely. I was like, but if I'm aware of I would say if I'm aware of what's going on with me, if I'm aware of my body language, if I'm aware of how I'm operating into this world, my
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
I would, in my brain, it would translate like to the outside, from the inside out type shit.
Got you.
Like so if that's how I was translating it. So alexithymia wasn't necessarily just the vocabulary. It was also I would just say the emotional I don't know the proper word. I'm gonna say emotional
Right.
knowing.
However,
That's the
there
way I
were
can
other
phrase it.
things that you were talking about the frontal orbital lobe. Did you look any of that up before you decided to repeat it? So this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is legitimate. It's not just about a vocabulary word. It's about listening and repeating things that you have not personally researched. Have you researched anything about the frontal lobe or any of those things that you've heard? Did you?
Yes, but it was before I ran into Princella.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in, James. We're going to be taking the next call, and I will be reading your apple
Thank
in a
you.
little bit. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Okay. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. China is saying, ladies, stop sharing your trauma with males. They don't care, understand, or will weaponize it against you. I think people have to be discerning with who they share their trauma with. So use discernment. People, most people are not equipped to deal with your trauma, and hence why they have therapists that you need to be speaking to about your trauma. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's use discernment. Let's use discernment. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. This is Amira. I'm calling from the Bronx.
Hi, Amira from the Bronx. We have 5 minutes on the clock for you to express yourself.
Okay, well, I'm not going to take that long. So I just
Okay.
wanted to say to OP, if she is listening, I'm proud of you for sticking to your guns and following through on the warning you gave your husband. Don't shape your life to appease other people. Live your life for you. You may be sad and depressed, but it will pass. This is your chance to get to know yourself and live your life boldly and authentically. And that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. You can call in and express some words of encouragement to the OP. You can express words of information to other people who may be in a similar situation, you can express whatever it is that you choose to express right now. 323-488-3149. And QT is saying, I can thank him, though. He cured me from centering males better than any influencer ever could. I don't date or nothing. Oh, wow. Poor thing, poor thing. All right. So, listen, what's happening? Are you all afraid to call in because there's more at stake, because she'll be hearing your call? This is your moment. This is your opportunity now. 323-488-3149. If there's nobody that wants to call in, what I'll do in the interim is I will, what we can do is I can put some of your comments up, I can read the apples, and then we can do the self-love lessons. But the phone lines are open at this moment. And so what I'll do is the phone lines are still open. Save the number so that you can be able to call whenever you need to. So some of your comments are saying, OP, you are not alone, and I'm so proud of you for getting out early. Yes, yes. Don't be going to your jobs telling them folks about your trauma either. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. All right, phone line, someone's calling. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. My name is Sandra. I'm calling from Charlotte.
Hey, Sandra from Charlotte. You have 5 minutes on the clock.
Okay, thank you. I probably wouldn't need 5 minutes, but I was just calling because I was following this story a little bit. I was proud of the lady that she was able to leave the situation immediately because she had already warned him about that. And with him doing that anyway and in front of her whole family, I think it would have took a lot of guts for her to be able to get out of there, because I know families started telling her, oh, you paid all this for the wedding, and trying to put peer pressure on her even as an adult. So I'm surprised and glad that she was able to get out of that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your comment.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. So someone's asking what time I come live. Join the text notification squad so you can get an alert when I go live. Here we go. Are you tired of missing Tonya TKO's live videos? Arriving late when the video is well underway or about to end? Are you fatigued of only seeing a live video randomly while perusing YouTube and Facebook? Or worse, randomly unsubscribed? Well, now you can get a text notification whenever I go live. No longer are we dependent on the algorithm of these fickle platforms. For just $1.99 a month US and Canada, or $4.99 a month international, you get a personalized text message 15 minutes before each live show. Now you can show up early with the Text Squad, meet other people from all over the world, and get invited to secret broadcasts off platform. Most importantly, support your favorite independent creator. Go to TonyaTKO.com and click on text. Join the TKO Text Squad today for just $1.99 a month US and Canada, or $22 a year if you pay in advance. $4.99 a month international, $50 a year if you pay in advance. You'll never again be tardy to the party. I'll see you on the next broadcast. TonyaTKO.com/text. All right, so if you are tired of missing my videos, coming in late while the video is well underway, join the text notification squad so that you too can get a text notification whenever I go live. I just missed a phone call. You'd have to call back in because I'm giving my commercial announcement right now. The address is www.tonyatko.com/text. So TonyaTKO.com/text. And get a notification whenever I go live. That way you are never tardy to the party. You're never tardy to the party. Here we go. You are on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Shannon from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Hey, Shannon from Green Bay. Welcome. You're on the air live. You have 5 minutes to express yourself.
Okay, good. Sorry, I get so nervous whenever I call you.
No, don't be
Um,
nervous.
well, I'm really glad that you did this story. A whole lot of women would not have the guts that she did. Uh, just even just walk out right then and there. Um, Most of the time, I know that we can be distracted by what other people are going to think, but it shows just how strong she is
Mm-hmm.
because she set that boundary, he crossed that boundary, and she gave him the consequence right away.
Yeah.
So I really admire her for that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, growing up, I mean, I believe I was raised by a narcissist. My stepfather, I've called in on your show before. He was very, very abusive,
Mm.
especially verbally and emotionally. Mentally, it was like nothing was ever good enough for him. And my mom is just this very giving, sweet, extremely kind person. And she was also very religious. So anytime anything would come up, he would use the Bible against her.
Mm.
Or to convince it whenever she would try to stand up for herself, he would bring up her not being submissive. Or if, she was trying to protect us in any way, he would use like, you're not allowing them to honor their father and, the father being the head of the household and things like that. So
Mm.
the way that I feel like it manifested in my life is I got into a lot of abusive relationships, um, a lot of mental and emotional abuse, or um, them not being available emotionally. And it's like I was I was just used to letting things go. I was just used to allowing myself to be abused because I just thought that's the way it's supposed to be,
Mm.
and that this is what relationships look like. Um, I'm married right now. I've been married for 13 years. I have 5 children, and I see these abusive patterns in my current relationship. It's really hard.
What?
And maybe the past year now, I've been more on a self-love journey. Um, I've created a holistic healing business, and I've overcome suicide attempts and suicidal ideation. And with all of that, now in my marriage, we're finally going to marriage counseling. And I noticed an abusive pattern that would usually come up, where I do something very loving for my husband, and he turns around and he'll be insulting or belittling to me. And so I was like, I noticed this pattern, so we're going to go into session first thing tomorrow. Um, as of now, like things are going okay. Um, but as I'm going through this and trying to heal all of this, it's just, it can be really difficult for me because it's like I'm on the fence. Uh, and watching your shows, like it's very empowering for me, and it really helps me take a step back and take a look at what I'm doing for myself, and what I want out of life. So I do. I
Mm.
appreciate your show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have questions. Well, let's start from the last and then move back. So you said you appreciate the show. I have been on this new kick where I've been wanting to teach more on the show.
Mhm.
However, you say you appreciate the show. So what is it that you have gained from the show without me specifically gearing it towards teaching that has helped you?
Well, I like that you're just willing to tell the truth about everything, and especially when it comes to our community, um, and how you teach people to be accountable for their actions, for their situations, uh, the way they speak to themselves, the way they speak to others, how they treat themselves. It it really helps for good self-reflection. And I think
Mm.
that's something that we absolutely need to do. And it feels good to see it coming from a Black woman, and how you seem very authentic. And even if it's like something controversial or provocative, you always know how to spin it and say, okay, if this is happening in our community, this is part of us. So what are you doing personally to remedy this within your community? Like, if this is something that we need to change, what are you going to do to be that change? Like, we can talk about these stories and everything, but there are ways we can see ourselves in it.
Gotcha.
So we have to take that accountability, you know? So that is really like one of the biggest things I get from your show since I started watching. I started watching years ago.
Okay.
And I appreciate that you have us call in and, put a voice to, behind all these comments and stuff that you may see on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Question for you. Do you have individual therapy?
Currently, I do not. I was with the same therapist for about 12 years, and she retired a few months ago. So I'm in the market to look again. I've been in therapy since I was like 17. And so once I get back out there, it's almost like dating again, uh, when you have to find another therapist and kind of hash out and get to know each other once again. And so I'm just not really ready for the bounce around,
Yeah, I got
trying
you.
to make
I
sure I
got
find
you.
somebody who's a good fit for me.
Well, you know what? I will say this, right? Please also look into getting yourself a hypnotherapist, right? Because one of the things that I realized just recently, because after the pandemic, after my friend's death, and some of the deaths that I've had to deal with, family members behind the scenes, I was left in a bad way after the pandemic. And so I have a therapist right now whom I've just last night actually, I told her that I was going to be reassigning her because after I will because I noticed a pattern in our sessions. And in our sessions, she would allow me to vent, and she would be all, that's right, this, that, and the other. And it was like a conversation.
Hmm.
And I found after the session, so I noticed that after the sessions that I wasn't feeling better. I was actually really just kind of emoting and expressing, and in a situation like that, I would be in therapy forever, right?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
it would be unending because I would just sit there, talk, let it out. So I would feel a little bit of pressure release from letting it out, but I wasn't being equipped with the tools to be able to look at my because at one I do not need my therapist telling me that somebody may be jealous of me. Do you think that might be jealousy? What the hell? I'm like, first of all, the way that I'm seeing something, because I know that there is malformed thinking in my thought process when I am relaying a story. So if I'm telling a story to a therapist and she's not questioning me and she's
Hmm.
listening to what I'm saying as if it's truth, then I can't grow. Especially if she's planting suggestions like, do you think that it's jealousy? What the hell?
Oh my
Like,
God. Yeah.
that's so highly inappropriate, right? And so I did tell her it was a difficult conversation to have because I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm moving on, but I felt that I owed it to her to let her know that I need something different, right? I'm doing CBT therapy, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. So the way that you think, how it affects your behavior in the therapeutic sense, right? So I would also look into a life coach and a hypnotherapist, honestly, because what you need is you need someone. Let me be quiet. I can't tell you what you need, right? I can't tell you what you need, but I can
Well, I'm
say what
listening,
is
so
helpful is a
right.
person who is coming in there with their sleeves rolled up with you to
Mm-hmm.
assist you in being able to change your thought patterns, change the way you see things, assist. Oh, wow, it's starting to rain outside. My plants are going to get fed this morning. Okay, nature, bring it down. Okay, so nonetheless, what we need genuinely is people who are going to be able to confront us with our thought pattern. So I see people who criticize me online when I get these callers who call in. And even if I agree with the caller, right? Even if the caller and I have the same point of view, I will question the caller about their thinking, because the way that we see things is all based on our perception, right? And in
Right.
order for us to have a different life, things have to change with the ways that we process information, the way that we see things. We have to change. If we don't change, then the things don't change around us, because what it is that we're seeing through our lens. So the fact that you've been in therapy for 17 years, I don't know what it is that you're discussing. I'm only speaking from my point of view, from having a therapist who I saw that in a relationship like this, the therapy would be never ending because it's just me emoting. So I'm just expressing that to you and for anybody out there, and just letting people know that you can change therapists. If a therapist is not working for you, um, look into somebody whose style works for you. Therapy does not have to be a lifelong thing. There are ways that you
Mm-hmm.
can be equipped with the tools to be able to shift your thinking, to change how you process information, to change how you're viewing things. Because if I'm, and I know I'm on a soapbox right now, because if I'm telling my therapist about an interaction that I've had with a family member, that interaction is based on my programming, my
Mm-hmm.
interpretation, my perception, all of those things. And I am but a human. And I am but a person who has been programmed. And the thing is that in order to, like, if you can see the program, if you're aware of the program, then you're outside of the program. And so
Mm-hmm.
we need therapists to help us get outside of the program. Because if I'm seeing things like, sometimes a person can ask, have you ever had this happen to you? A person can ask you a question, and just in them asking, it can shift. You can shift. Like, you don't even realize. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I used to say things online. I forget was one of the things that somebody helped me shift from saying, right? Damn
Right.
it. I can't remember, but there were things that I just naturally just said because it's just a part of the program. And then somebody said, "Well, why are you saying that? That this is,
Yeah.
and then I look and I say, "Well, you know what? I really don't know." And you all have seen me do that. I've done that about 3 times on live. And I'm like, "You know what? I don't know why I've done that." Yeah, and I've made a change right then and there, because I was like, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize. So, that's my spiel to you. Was any of that helpful to you?
Yes, ma'am. It's very helpful, and I get what you mean when you have one that just lets you emote. And something that I've noticed with going to different therapists is sometimes, and especially if, like, I live in the Midwest, so there's no black therapist. I have yet to find one here, and at least in Green Bay. And I noticed that when they have a woman in there, a strong black woman in their care, and especially if you're very intelligent and well spoken, when they see that strength, I don't think they really know what to do with it. And some of them may feel like they can't help us. That's just a theory I have. That's just an opinion I've come up with seeing so many different therapists.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, I needed to emote. I needed to be able to get all of that off of me, because I had nobody to go with to go to for with that. Not my mother, not my siblings. It was too much for them to handle. And so as that process went along, then, we maybe stop in the middle of it, okay, and have me process my emotions.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and I think it took such a, like, I did it for so long because of the simple fact of having that emotional side being neglected
Mm.
for most of my life and not being able to express emotion, and having to put on a mask for so long to look
Mm.
like I'm just happy and
Mm.
everything's okay, but it's not okay because, I was cutting, I was having all these different self-destructive,
Mm.
and self-mutilating behaviors.
Mm. Mm.
And I mean, it took, quite a long time to get over that hurdle of these big traumas that I had, from
Mm.
childhood into early adulthood. So, but yes, I hear your suggestions. I currently do have a life coach, and hypnotherapy is something that I've been interested in. And I mean, I appreciate you, the realness that you bring. I appreciate the movement breaks, and you really show that are you mean what you say. You mean you are about your mission, and I'm so glad that I found you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And you have a great rest of your day and continue forward. And when you feel the strength to start looking again, start looking. And I will say this, that I spent a long time looking for a Black female PhD therapist, right, psychologist, and when I released that, I was able to attract into my life therapists that were of different races who have the skills to be able to assist me. And so I released the whole, I need a Black woman. I need the best woman. That's what I need. I need the best woman,
I
regardless
need
of
the
her
best
race.
woman. Okay,
Yes.
that's
And
better. Okay.
my life coach currently is a white woman. And ironically enough, she's into gardening. And at the end of each session, we talk a little bit about our plants, and we're growing some of the same things. And she's a white woman from the South with a cute Southern accent, and she's just the nicest
Oh,
thing. And she asks me questions that really make me think and really make me dig deep into creating the shifts and changes that I need. And that is what I needed. I needed someone like her. And and she just so happened to not be a Black woman.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it is what it is. So I opened myself. So part of the reason that I was looking for a Black female therapist is because I've had white therapists in the past who, what the F? There is some bug that looks like a cricket and a fly mixed together crawling up my mirror.
What?
I just wish I could
You
just
gonna
turn the
kill it?
camera on this thing. I would like to catch it and put it outside.
Yeah, that sounds
Mm.
different.
Nonetheless, I've had white therapists in
Mhm.
the past that it just didn't work out with. And I just continued. So I went in search, and I had had some bad experiences with some Black female therapists. And I realized,
Mhm.
I said, you know what, universe, let me release. I need to do something about this thing. I can't, this ain't gonna work for me. Okay. And I was like, listen, I just need the best person. And I asked the universe to bring the best person to me. And I was able to, in the first few sessions that I needed to vent to the therapist that I had, I vented in those first few. Well, the first session was a session that I received some great help. Second session, I also received some help, but then I started venting, and she was like, "Oh," and then she started projecting onto me. She was like, "I can tell
Mhm.
that you're I can tell that you got it together. I can tell that you're the type
Yeah.
of woman. And she was like, we don't need to follow these rules. And, she was like, you got this. And I don't need that, because if I had this, I wouldn't be in
Right.
therapy. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And so so we had 4 sessions. First session was great. Second session, half was great. Third session, I ended up feeling worse, and I saw with the pattern that it was going in. Fourth session, I told her what it is that I needed, and she just wasn't getting it. She started giving me advice about what I need to say to. So basically, one of the things that is going on, I'll tell you all, because this is one of the things I was discussing in therapy. I'll tell you all. I'm gonna open up since everybody else opens, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there is a young adult, right, in my life, and I need this young adult to do certain chores or activities. And I feel this angst and fear on the inside about bringing these things up, because I don't want to further damage the relationship that we have, because there's been some damage to the relationship. And so now things like the shower, the toilet, these things need to be cleaned. But this person says they do not like to clean these things. And so I find myself being the one who has to always clean these, which is not a problem. But the problem is that I have this angst with having this conversation. That I don't, and I'm sure there are other parents out there who have issues bringing things up to their young adults, because you don't want them blowing up at you. You don't want this. You know what I mean? You have this. So I have this fear, because I don't want this uncomfortable exchange, right? So I'm talking to the therapist about this, and she's like, well, what you need to do is you need to say to her, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You need to say it like this. And that's not what I need. What I need is to discover and really get over this angst that I have. That's what I need. That's what I need. This is not a roommate. This is not a roommate. So this is not a roommate. So somebody saying roommate problems, this is not a roommate. So nonetheless, right? What I need is to discover why I feel this angst, right? I need to understand why I feel this apprehension in the first place. What is it that I'm afraid of? What is the worst that can happen? These are questions that I need. I need to get to the root of why I'm not addressing this in the first place, because I don't have a problem speaking up and talking to other people. And you all in the public may even be surprised that I'm having this issue being able to express, right? But this is a unique situation, and I'm having the difficulty. And I'm like, listen, I know what to say. I had to tell her this. I was like, I know what to say. I need to figure out what's going on inside of me that I'm not saying it. That's what I need. I need to figure out what's happening with why I am feeling intimidation. I'm not being intimidated, but there's something that's going on inside of me that's making me shrink back down into myself. So then I'm like, you know what? It's just easier for me to just clean the toilet rather than or hear the stuff splashing around in there, in the shower, banging and all of that. Huh?
That's really annoying. Yeah, I can kind of relate, because I have 5 littles, and a husband. So for whatever reason, they just feel like, oh, mom's supposed to do everything. This went on for years. And I'm like, no, I'm not your maid. Like, you live here too. You use the bathroom. You use the dishes. No, like, you have to be responsible for yourself. This is what we have to do. And sometimes you have to do stuff that you don't like. I don't like having to talk to you about it, So,
Exactly.
yeah, I get it.
So I brought all of that up to say that with this therapist, I don't need the words to say. I need to understand why I'm retreating within myself in the first place. So I had to tell her yesterday that I need something different, right? I had to tell her yesterday I need something different.
You like to have like that introspection. And I think that's something that we have in common. Like, you like to know why you do what you're doing, and then, then you can go on and remedy it.
Yeah.
That's a part of therapy, like to get a better understanding of yourself. Like, what is this coming from?
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what? Listen, I just looked at how long we've been on the phone. We've been on the phone for 25 minutes. So my
Okay.
bad, but thank you. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for sharing yourself. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak up about something that I'm dealing with that may be able to help other people. You know what I mean? So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this phone call.
Thanks, Tanya. Bye bye.
Okay. So somebody is asking, is it possible that you don't want to break character, being calm, cool? You must don't know me very well at all. You must don't know me at all. Then, if you think I'm calm and cool, that's not me. I'm not calm and cool. That's not me. And there's no quote unquote character to really break on that in terms of yeah. So no, mm-mm. I don't know. This is what I presented to the therapist. If I knew, then I would just change it. It's not a character. It is not a character. It is really, really trying to figure out why the discomfort of the discord is is less frictioned than just not saying anything at all and just going ahead and just doing it. So nonetheless, you know what, Zahara? I see that a lot of you are attempting to play therapist. I did not bring this up publicly. And please don't make me regret bringing it up publicly because I'm not asking you all to psychoanalyze me. I'm not asking for that. I only brought that up as an example. That's it. That's it. And people are like, do you feel it's because that you know what? It is about time for a movement break, but we have a few calls that have been trying to get in. The call didn't seem that long, but it definitely was. So let us take a movement break because if we were on that call for 25 minutes, then we definitely need to move. So get up, use the bathroom, stretch, touch your toes, twerk, however you want to do it. You know what? I need some twerk music. That's what I need. That's what I need. I need to get some music so that we can drop some. All right. And so Angeline is saying that she knows the answer to my question. Okay. See, that's the thing. Each individual is different. Each individual is different. We don't know what other people and how other people process information. This is why it's important to ask questions, not just to yourself, but to other people. Don't assume. Don't assume. We'll be right back in 3 and 3. All right, we are back. I was just doing some forward folds, just really just getting that back bent and just doing some back flexions, and that's what I was doing, just getting my spine moving. Oh, all right. Let us go ahead and read some of these apples that have come in, and then we're going to open up the phone lines because I see that Simone was trying to call in, or at least I saw somebody from the area code of Italy trying to call in. I don't know if it was Simone or not, but so there's, just what did you all do? Because I was really just trying to get this back moving. Okay. So, all right. So Amaria sends $5 and says hip twists and side lunges. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I got a weak knee on one side, so those side lunges are difficult for me. James, who called in, he says ankle rotations, and it says clay raises, but I know from the phone that you said calf raises. So, okay, I feel you. You said the calves or the heart of the lower legs. Okay. Shannon sends 555 and says first cash app and new to tech squad. Love you. Hey, yeah, there's been a lot of people signing up on the text notification squad lately. I'll give a shout out to the latest people who signed up in just a moment. And James says love each other, most importantly love yourself, on a t-shirt. Okay, you know what, the designer who designed the initial designs, I'm not happy with what it is that I'm seeing. I was like, look, I could have done this myself if this was how it was gonna look. If I have an opportunity, I'll show you all some of the designs. But I was like, this is not what I hired you for. I was like, if I just wanted to put some text on a thing, I would have just done that myself. Let me see if I can load it and show you all. Because I was like, this is not what here, let me show this to you. Let me show this to you. Look at the way this look. Hold on. Where's my thing? I said, what is this? I said, no. I said, because I told him, I was like, I want it to be like a feminine Gothic font. How is this feminine Gothic? This looks like a bold Times New Roman. I'm like, what in the world? So I said, no. So then I was like, okay, listen, I showed him some examples. And then this is the other one that he sent, right? This is the other one he sent. And I was like, I could have done this myself. This is first love yourself. I mean, I was like, come on, this look cheap. This look cheap. I'm sorry. It looked cheap to me. It looked cheap. I sent him some, I said, look, I Googled the words feminine Gothic font. I Googled it. Let me show you what I came up with in the Google. So here we go. So I Googled it, right? I Googled it, feminine Gothic font. And the ones that I circled are the ones I was like, okay, this is a feminine. I told him I wanted to look like a secret society. I wanted to have lots of swashes and all this stuff, right? And he then came back with, let me show you what he came back with. He came back with this, and I was like, are you the same person who made the designs in your portfolio? Because I was like, I don't know what this is. I was like, if I just wanted some text on a thing, I would have just done this myself. Like, this don't look like nothing I would pay for. And this says, look, it looks like it says keeper of the tomb. Come on, this don't look right. So I don't really know. I don't really know how it's going to work out. I might just have to design these myself because hiring a person just doesn't seem like it's working out. I don't know. I really don't know, because you all know I'm a graphic designer. I worked as a graphic designer for many years. That's how I made a living before I became a YouTube sensation. You know what I'm saying? But no. So I don't really know what's going to happen with the t-shirts, because I need a designer who can do what I can't do. I need a designer who can do what I can't do. I know, Reaper of the Tomb. This is what I'm saying. It looks like Reaper of the Tomb. And I'm like, that's not, this bug is really bugging. I'm trying to leave it alone, but come on, let's get back into the apples. All right. Code Red sends 222 and says rising strength. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me refresh, and then we're going to open up the phone lines real quick, and then we're just going to take 2 phone calls, and then we're going to go from there. All right. So, last 2 phone calls, y'all. Last 2 phone calls, because I see that there were 2 people calling back to back to back trying to get in. So, I'm going to open up the phone lines for the last 2 phone calls. All right. Phone lines are open. I mean, what do you all think of that so far? So somebody says he don't like the message. Apparently not. Speaking of which, my editors are male. And when I be looking at some of the videos they be editing, I be like, look, well, it is what it is. I'm saying the truth. I hope they learning something. While they editing. I hope they taking it into account. You on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. I'm Alyssa, and I'm calling from Florida.
Hey, Alyssa from Florida.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call. On the vein that we were discussing therapy, I wanted to ask you your experiences because CPTSD is not technically in the DSM, so it's difficult to find a provider that really specializes in that. And I've tried talk therapy. I found it to be very unhelpful. I know that you mentioned CBT and hypnotherapy, and like I know there's another type of therapy. I think it's EDMR or EMR, eye movement desensitization therapy. So what would you say like would be a good avenue to discover for someone like basically unpacking like CPTSD and issues relating to it?
Well, so this is the thing, and I'm glad that you called in. Let me set the timer so we could just stay on top of the time. I'm gonna give it max 7 minutes, okay? Max 7 minutes.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
I've heard of the therapy with the rapid eye movement, and I've heard that it has really been revolutionary for the people who have received it. So what I would say is to continue to try different things. Try the EMD, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. Try them. And talk to the people. Ask them. Because you can ask a hypnotherapist whether or not they can help you receive change. And a hypnotherapist, their entire job is to help you rewrite your subconscious programming. And you all know I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I don't work one-on-one with people any longer. I used to, but I prefer to work in group settings, so that my time can be most, because it's probably, I don't want to say it's too expensive to hire me one-on-one, because I was listening to the dude from Mind Valley, and his hypnotherapist charges $10,000. So I mean, I don't know if I want to go that route. But
Wow.
so yeah, so I'm saying try different things, because you can only know what's going to work for you once you try it. When I went on my healing journey, I tried what is this? The freedom technique, emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping on different areas of the body. I tried that. I did hypnotherapy. I did shamanic breath work. I did a lot of different things, because I said, listen, I'm going to find this healing. And so I did a lot of different things. So I'm actually looking into doing a Vipassana soon. A Vipassana is 10 days silence out in the wilderness, in a retreat center. And you have to meditate each day. You do not speak for 10 days. You don't even look people in the eye and be like, You don't do none of that. You don't even look. You look down. You go to your room. You can journal. You can do all of that, but you don't speak for 10 days. No phones, no nothing. So I'm thinking about doing a Vipassana. So there's other people who try ayahuasca. There's other people which are not legal. There's people who try shrooms. And so all I say is feel within your spirit, ask Goddess and your angels and guides to assist and to bring and attract to you that which is for you, that's going to help you get to where it is that you need to get. So yeah, was that helpful?
Yeah, that was extremely helpful. Thank you. And I noticed that with your journey, are you leaning more towards, like, do you combine elements of Western and Eastern methods, or do you lean more towards Eastern methods of healing?
Um, I I like to do what is natural first. I like a holistic approach to healing. I like to use as little chemicals as possible. And yeah, so I like to get down to the root of the matter because like if you have like a styrofoam cake with frosting on it, you can continue to put decorations on it, but it's like you have to get down to the fact that underneath all that frosting is styrofoam. And so I want to, and maybe the styrofoam needs to be pulled out and a real cake needs to be made and put underneath there. Maybe the whole thing just needs to be tossed out, even if it has frosting that you invested in on it. So I am into what works. I don't know if you have gathered this from me or not, but I'm into what works as long as it is not going to be detrimental to me, as long as it is a facet, an extension of my self love. I
Right.
want to do what works. So like I from 2015 up until a month ago, what was it? July 17th, so a month and a half ago, up until July 17th from 2015, I had not eaten any dead animal flesh. However, on
Hmm.
this journey with what it is that I'm doing physically, I needed more protein. I needed a way to be able to get more protein. So I started craving protein. And so in a facet of self-love, I listened to what my body was needing right now. And I don't eat animal flesh every day. But I had to love myself enough to go back on my word with how I became a vegetarian, to honor the lives of animals and just not wanting to ingest their flesh, to saying, you know what, there has to be a way that I can honor this animal's life by participating in an exchange, or eating it very minimally and only when I have to, and really giving thanks to the animal for giving its life by purchasing from a company that has tactics that honor the animal's life, rather than just going to the grocery store and not knowing how this thing was killed. You know what I mean? And or
Hmm.
being grown on a farm, tortured for most of its life. Like I contacted a company in Alaska who does wild caught salmon, and I import it in. And I paid dearly for it, but these are some of the things that I've done to honor myself. So to answer your question, I do what works. If it's Eastern, if it's Western, if it's Southern, if it whatever it is, I will do what works as long as it is in alignment with self-love. And I needed, because what was happening is I wasn't getting enough protein, and I found myself binging, and I had to choose the lesser of two evils. Binging was not in the best interest of my loving myself. So if I had to eat animal flesh rather than binge on stuff that still wasn't hitting the spot, then I had to eat animal flesh. So that's where I am right now. Thoughts?
Okay. And then when you say doing what works, I know there's a lot of talk about specifically looking for Black female therapists. And like I said, talk therapy has been kind of like useless for me. And I have had like bad experiences with Black female therapists. So would you just kind of say maybe just branch out, like how you were saying, you just ask the universe and like whatever works, and just look for another professional, maybe of another ethnicity or race
Exactly. That's what
that's
I've
like good at
done.
their craft?
That is what I've done, and that's what I would suggest. I would suggest because And so we have to jump off because we've been on for over 8 minutes. So the
Okay.
I know. So let me just say this, right? So I was making phone calls to, because the way my insurance company did it before, I had to call the therapist and set up an appointment, call the therapist office. So I called a bunch of different therapists. I had a whole list, a notebook, all of this. And I was looking for a black female therapist that had a PhD. And so I got this woman on the line, and I was like, and I told her, I was like, listen, I want to get to I told her I was struggling with some things, and I want to get to the root of what's, happening with me. And she was like, well, how should I know? And I was like,
What?
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, really? I was like, okay. I was like, okay. All right. And so I let her go because it wasn't a good fit. I could tell. So she was a black female
Yeah.
therapist, and it just wasn't a good fit. And so I had to move on from there and just find the best woman. Instead of the best black woman, just find the best woman.
Right. Thank you so much for your time, Tonya, and for your feedback. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So phone lines are open. A lot of people were calling. So let me just get it's over 2 hours that we've been on here. So we have to hurry with the next phone call or two. So listen, somebody said, yikes. Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay. I remember that feeling. My stomach just sank because I was like, wow, I had such high hopes. But then I realized that we as black women, that some of us have issues. That just being a black woman does not absolve you of having your own personal issues. And some of our issues are cultural. And when she was like, how should I know? I was like, oh, all right. Yeah. Not a good fit. Not a good fit. Not a good fit. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. Good morning. My name is Elle. I'm from New Jersey.
Hi, Al from New Jersey.
Hi. So I have a bit of more of a question. So I have a family member, and this is about, abuse. So, kind of trigger warning, but we're actually just trying to figure out if it is abuse. We have a family member who's been in a relationship with a boyfriend for over 10 years. She really wants to get married. She really wants to have children. Yet he's just dangling the carrot on top of her head. We're just wondering, is that a form of abuse if something's being dangled over somebody's head for years and years?
Oh, it depends on how he's doing it, but let us look up the definition of abuse, right? Here. So the definition of abuse is the improper usage or treatment of a thing, often to unfairly or improperly gain benefit. Abuse can come in many forms, such as physical or verbal maltreatment, injury, assault, violation, capital R word, unjust practices, crimes, or other types of aggression. That's from Wikipedia. From dictionary, this is the Oxford definition: use to bad effect or for bad purpose, misuse. Then we have improper use of something. Let's go to onelook.com because when I tell you all that we need to look up things in different ways, I like to look up and find different ways to be able to find a thing. So when I do research, I don't just go to one area. I look in many different areas. So Merriam-Webster says abuse is a corrupt practice or custom, improper or excessive use or treatment, language that condemns or vilifies, physical mistreatment. So let's go back. We read the Oxford one. This is American Heritage. To use improperly or excessively misuse, to hurt or injure by maltreatment, an unjust or wrongful practice, a government that commits abuse against its citizens, right? So let's go back and see. So that's American Heritage. Let's see Macmillan. So Macmillan has, I don't know what this is, this showing some books, and that's not what I'm looking for. Did we look at Webster's? Let's look at Webster's. Webster says to use wrongly, to hurt by treating badly, to mistreat, to inflict physical, sexual, psychological harm upon, to use insulting, coarse, or bad language about or to revile, to deceive or trick. Oh, it's not on the screen. My bad. I thought it was on the screen. My bad. So does this give you a better idea about whether or not that's abuse? So let me ask you, from what it is that you have seen and witnessed and from what it is that you know about this situation, is his behavior abuse?
From what just described, it sounds like it. Like, misappropriating or abusing something. And if in the least he's abusing her feelings by, over 10 years dangling, she's begging him to have kids. He won't. She left him one time. He got her back with, I guess, getting her house and, just basically a stay-at-home girlfriend. So to me, it does seem like abuse, because at the end, she's not really getting what she wants. And you could tell, like, we're at a point where none of the family could even bring it up because it hurts her so much. She'll start crying, yell, and scream. So, I think it's really emotionally weighing on her. So I do think that that's abuse.
Yes, and then even more so. So there's his part of it, and then there's her part of it. Because his part is doing what it is that he's doing. Her part is self-abusing through this relationship. When she knows
Right.
she has a pretty, listen, any woman with eggs, and that's all women, know that you have a finite amount of time to be able in which you can have children. And if you are allowing
Right.
your time to be used up by a person who is not putting their money where their mouth is, at some point you have to take responsibility for your constant participation in this act. So she is allowing herself and her eggs to secrete out one each month and the rest to die inside of her. She owes it to her children. She owes it to her children, her future unborn children, to do what it is that she needs to do for them. And they're not going to be born in a situation in which she is allowing her eggs to die.
Right. Yes.
So he's abusing her,
Yes.
and she is self-abusing, to answer your question plainly.
Wow. How unfortunate. How unfortunate. And it's not like something that we could talk to her about because, extremely a lot of raw emotions around the topic. So
Why don't
I don't
somebody,
know.
why don't someone do this? Give me the
Mhm.
timestamp for this moment right here, and let me turn this into a short that this young lady can casually repost.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because she does look at my post, and I will definitely repost this. And I try to send her subs on subliminal messages on Instagram stories and stuff, and of other people saying, oh, if he hasn't married you, you're a placeholder. And I not frequently, but I post stuff in hopes that she would see, and I do see that she does see it. So that's a great idea. Thank you.
Maybe she needs to hear that she's self-abusing, because let me tell you, what many people do is they sit in their victimhood. This is one of the things
Right.
that we're going to be working on in the coaching behind the scenes. So get ready for that announcement. People sit in their victimhood because it's a lot easier to blame somebody else than it is to take accountability and responsibility for our participation in it. And then we'll say, oh, I was wrapped up with this man and he held me up and then I never had children because of him. No, you didn't have children because of you. Because you made a decision and you continue to make a decision to stay in a situation in which a thing that has been promised to you has not been given. And the last thing we want is for her to try to go force this man down the aisle so he could start stabbing her in the face with the sharp skewers inside the cake. You know what I mean? That's the last thing we want.
You know what, Tonya? That's the point that I really want to drive home, because even if he does marry her eventually, it will be by dragging and kicking his feet. And who wants a foundation marriage of a person who was dragged to be there? And I guess he's a pretty wealthy guy, and they got a lot of property and money and stuff like that. But it all comes at a cost, because she can't use his credit cards without permission and a fourth degree, and she can't move left or right without him. And it's just she's getting to the point where she's 40. So
Oh.
it's It's
Oh,
sad.
listen, tell her to freeze her eggs right now. Because every year over
Right.
40, the amount of eggs, viable eggs that you have, it plummets. It goes from like 70 to like
But Tanya, but
26
with
in the
what
course of a
money?
year. Oh, she doesn't
All
have
her
money?
money is tied.
Wait,
She doesn't have a job. Everything is on his dime, and if he finds out, we believe, the family believes, that he's doing something actively to stop him from getting from releasing sperm or whatever the case may be. We do truly believe that he's on some sort of male birth control, but we can't verify that, obviously.
I mean,
And
all
so,
he has to do is have a vasectomy because people who have vasectomy still ejaculate. They
right.
still
Well, I don't know
ejaculate.
about his penis.
I'm saying, but if she, listen, look, she doesn't have, so this is financial abuse now at this point.
Correct.
So yes, she's being abused. You were just being facetious when you called in because she's being abused.
Well, I mean, to the outside, it looks like she has whatever she wants. So, and I don't know, I don't talk to her on a frequent basis. So I'm not 100% sure, like if that could be, because, there's a lot of discourse online about abuse and narcissism, and it all gets tangled up and mixed up when you start reading and listening to
She
everything, because
got
there's
no
so many
money.
opposing
She's
views
not
online.
empowered in any way. She has no savings. She has no way to leave this relationship and have something. If he truly cared about her, she would have a savings account in which he is assisting her. If he really cared about her, she would have a property all her own in which the money goes directly to her. If he really cared about her, he would make sure that she was all right. Let me tell you something. I
Mm-hmm.
know somebody who died recently. They died. Look, I've
Right.
been dealing with a lot behind the scenes. Somebody who died recently, very close to us, right? And when it came time for this person to be on or off life support, their children was there in the hospital. Let me just say, his children were there in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then the woman that he married in 1973 came through. And when a decision had to be made about whether he would be on the ventilator or off, she said off. When it came time for him to get buried, she had him in the ground in less than 3 days. Nobody from afar got a chance to go to the funeral. No one.
Wow.
So it is important who you marry. It is important
Right.
who you are legally tethered to, because people are able to make decisions on your behalf or not. Something can happen to this man. Who is the woman who is married to him that's going to come through while she's sitting there weeping? Because he could already be married. Who is going to come through and pull the plug while she's sitting there? Huh?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Who's
It'll
going
have
to
to
be
be
the
her mama.
one? Who's going to be the one? No, because listen, I'm saying he's probably married already. He probably is married. Or if something happens, she's not even going to be able to visit him in the hospital. This is how men end up dying alone. And look, let me just mind my business. I answered the question already. Anything else, my dear?
I have a Yeah. So since she's been with him this long, I don't know if you know, but in New Jersey laws, can she get like still spousal support or some sort of civil
You
unionship
have to
or
Google that. Tell her to talk to a lawyer. Is this you? Because you seem to be very,
no, no,
oh,
no, no.
okay, because you know how they be
I'm
like,
married to
my
her brother.
friend. Okay, okay. Well, listen, let me let you go so that we can take another call.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate it.
All right. Look. Listen. So, listen. I look. Let the next call in. The phone lines are open. Girlfriends don't have those kind of rights. Exactly. We saw how there was a rapper who died who had a baby mama. She can't get nothing. First of all, if this man loved her and he's wealthy, he would have a living trust and she would be the beneficiary and all of this stuff would be set up. If he loved her, there would be a living trust that exists in which she can withdraw money. He doesn't care about her safety. He doesn't care about her doing well without him. This is why men are losing their minds right now, because women are able to work. They're losing their minds because they want to create a system in which women are dependent on them, because that's the only way in which they have leverage. Women working takes away their leverage. If you have no use in a relationship, if a person has no use for in a relationship outside of what it is that you provide financially, and then they're able to do that on their own, like I hear some of these bloggers talking about what you need to do to get a man's money and all this, that, and the other, and you got to endure this and tell this type of lie and all this, that. And I'm like, why would I do that? Why am I sit there and lie about all this stuff and sit there in front of somebody who's grotesque and burping and farting at the restaurant and dribbling out the side of their mouth? Why would I do that when I can just earn my own money? Why would I do that? Why would I sit there with some man and he's talking about this stuff, and he's leaning over me and I gotta be like, why are you putting on me? Why would I do all of that when I can just go and make my own damn money and come home and feel happy on my own? Why would I sit there with some man with a club foot, one leg longer than the other, with stench under his arm and cheese under his balls? Why would I sit there for that? With somebody talking about, you know what time it is? It's time for you to get to work. You know what time it is. You better get down on your... Why would I do all of that? I'm not doing all of that. Why? It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Why would I do that when I can just go... Listen, I'd rather sell bottles of water on the side of the highway. I'd rather do that. I'd rather be like Frogger on the FDR underpass, running through cars with bottles of water, than to sit up there with some man dribbling on me. Why? And then there's somebody, listen, Mel, I've already blocked several of your accounts. Don't get this account blocked today, son. Fall back. You're the only one pushing hate. If it was up to you, women would be ignorant and not being educated on how to avoid abuse. So you can't quit me. Why do you keep coming here? Why can't you quit me? It's because you have a parasitic relationship with female energy, in which, like a vampire, you need to come suckle upon the teat of women that you don't know, because our energy is so juicy and so vibrant that even people with penises want to be us. Meanwhile, the persons with twatinas that are talking about their men, they up on the damn internet crying because being a man is not all that it cracked up to be. They done took their into a realm with people who don't emote, don't express, and it's like going from vivid and living color to black and white. Listen, if men were so great, you wouldn't be on a woman's page. You know what I'm saying is the truth, doggone. Where is the lie? If you all were so great, you would be over there banging balls against your friends. And you all would be bumping your chest and your balls together, talking about how great it is to be a man. But instead, you're here amongst all this softness. Why? Why? Anyway, phone lines are open for one last phone call, and then we're going to get out of here. Don't encourage me. Don't encourage my foolishness. Don't encourage me. We've been on too long. We need to get off of here. We need to get off of this broadcast. We've been on for two and a half hours. I'm not even going to take any more phone calls. I'm just going to get off of here because it is going once, going twice. Okay, I've turned off the phone lines. I've turned off the phone lines. Listen. This is just, listen. Exactly. Men prioritize other men until it's time to actually be with men. Then all of a sudden they need our softness. They need our mama earth and energy. They need that. And they just keep coming around. Listen. They just keep coming around. Exactly. So, exactly, Sandra. They can't leave us alone. They just can't leave us alone. So nonetheless, let us go ahead and get these self-love lessons out here. Come on. SLL, what is the self-love lesson that you learned from today's broadcast? And to the OP of the post, we stand with you. So congratulations on doing what it is that you had to do, even one tiny step. I don't know what's going to happen. Please keep us updated, but we shall see. Let me check the apples and let me check the PayPal. Somebody talk about hate watching. Exactly. Let me go to this PayPal and see if there's any over here. SLL, what is the self-love lesson? What's the self-love lesson? Today is Rania sends $10 and says, Tonya, you are a valuable counter voice in this YouTube space in the midst of so little critical thinking. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So we've read everything. Let's see these self-love lessons. Come on. I'm going to therapy, self-love lesson. Wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. So let's see. Stay strong, mind, body, and spirit. Beautiful. Somebody stepped away and came back into some craziness. My bad. Break hearts and move on. I don't know if that's the self-love lesson from today's video. So let's see. SLL, self-love lesson. Let's see. I'm mad that this person had me scream them down like that. You missed the update on the cake smash. You need to be on the text notification squad. That's what I said I was going to do. I was going to give a shout out to the people who just joined the squad. Let me give a shout out to the people who just joined, because we just had some people who have joined the squad. So let me, I prioritize my own feelings and well-being. I center myself and my life. Remember, we're speaking in the present tense from the I point of view. So, here, let me give a shout out to the people who have just joined. Hey! Oh, Shannon just joined the text notification squad. Shannon, your phone number didn't come through. Sometimes the page, when you autofill in the page, sometimes it doesn't come through. Paula just joined. Thank you, Paula. Paula B. So Paula, welcome to the text notification squad. Yours came through good. I'm saying I love you in the mirror every day. Perfect. Love yourself by any means necessary. Say love myself. Shannon CJ, your phone number didn't come through, so contact me with your phone number. What else? So 2 people have joined. So welcome to the 2 people. Some people joined yesterday. AITA J joined yesterday. Eufina SV joined. Tonya, weren't you already on the text notification squad? Or was I just reading your name in the comments? Well, Tonya E joined. John C, Felicia K, Victoria C, Miranda K, Priscilla R. Welcome to the text notification squad. Right now, we have, let's see how many people we have on the text notification squad. Wow, we have 900 people on the text notification squad. That's what I'm talking about. 900 people who have chosen to receive a text whenever I go live. In the description of this video, you'll see a link so that you can join the text notification squad. James says, one step starts the journey. If there's a start, there's a finish. Okay. Okay, I value my self-worth. We've received 1,000 messages on this stream today. So thank you all for commenting and being here and doing the doggone thing. Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to the health and wellness group. Yes. As a matter of fact, today is my day off. And so today is the day that I should be programming these, because we have got to get into these groups because September is coming. So we need to get this done because we're going to be doing this groups until we're going to be doing this group until the end of the year. And then we're going to assess and see what growth we've had. And then we're going to look into doing something for next year. Maybe in the group, we'll have to do our, you know what I would like to do? I would like to start a vision board. So in the coaching group, I would like to, but you know what? I want to honor the people who are in the coaching group and provide coaching for what the unique people in that group need, rather than having a pre-agenda. So where I was once complicit in my own self-abuse, I now utilize the wisdom of life experience and my fellow womb holders and ascend into self-love, self-honor. I surround myself with light. You better copy and paste that, and you better tell yourself that each night, right? And take off the part with the abuse and that stuff in the beginning, and just speak the positive affirmation at the end. Start with, I now utilize the wisdom of life experiences in my fellow, because what you don't want is you don't want to keep perpetuating the abuse in your mind by repeating that. But start right there, copy and paste that. Email that to yourself and so that you can keep it and say it to yourself at night before you go to bed. I honor my feelings and intuition. And here go Shaq Fu. So he went into a different account so that he could come back, because he knew that he was going to get that account blocked. And so now he's come back as Shaq FU. Let me show you how we feel about you. Let me show you how we feel. FU. Ooh, ooh. So yes, that is what we have to say to you. Welcome to the block party. You're done. You're done. So nonetheless, and lesser than none. Nonetheless, and lesser than none. We're going to, I'm going to give my self-love lesson that I learned from today's video, and then we're going to jump out of here. The self-love lesson that I learned in today's video, right? The self-love lesson I learned in today's video is about showing up, being open, like how I shared something that I was talking about in therapy. I felt that as an extension of my self-love, that I would use myself as an example and be okay with the fact that there are some things that everything is not perfect, rosy, and copacetic behind the scenes, and really just allowing myself a human moment to express something that I've been struggling with, that I'm sure other people struggle with as well. So I'm happy that I was able to open in that way publicly, because I don't typically talk about, a lot about some of the goings ons, and I've never talked about some things that I was working on in therapy. So listen, listen, on that note, I will see you all in the next video. So go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? That's right. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. How funny. How did Gangnam Style used to go? Whoop, whoop, whoop. How did Gangnam Style? Welcome Gangnam Style. I don't remember how it went. Have a good day, you all. I'll see you all in the next video.